Welcome, Allison, Dave, and Karina.
Thanks
Hi,
so
good
much for
morning.
having us. Yeah. So let's see here. Do we have our little slides injected in here?
Allison,
Yes.
share her screen and off we
Pull
go.
those on
Great.
up.
Well, we wanted to give you just a little bit of quick background on the Emerging Credentials group. So a year ago at the Shaping EDU Unconference, someone had the great idea to run a session called Invasion of the Credit Snatchers. And some of us got involved in that. And I think I'll just speak for myself. Very naively, I thought this will be an interesting topic of conversation for an unconference. Little did I know it would slowly become sort of part of my life's work. What happened after this wonderful group of people got together online in the unconference is that we decided that there was enough work to be done that we formed the Emerging Credentials Action Team. And really that was a self-nominated group of people that came together to do this, which really in a nutshell was to say, let's explore this and try to figure this thing out and maybe figure out what it means to us personally and in our institutions, but also what kinds of products maybe we could produce to help our friends and colleagues. Stephanie introduced a term in her intro that I'm going to now borrow about emerging credentials to figure out this crazy maze of emerging credentials. So we met for a while and kind of continued to develop ideas. And then the next big Shaping EDU event that we got to participate in was, so the goals and values really was to be very focused on how do we help the learners, how do we connect higher ed to the employer market, and how do we basically enrich what we do inside of higher ed? We wanted to make sure we were super relevant, and we really wanted to make the idea of emerging credentials a little less of a crazy maze and maybe something that could be navigated. So thanks, Allison. I missed that slide. Then we ended up at the Shaping EDU Pente Challenge. The Pente Challenge, if you're not familiar, was a wonderful event where essentially a group of us, I think there were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams competed for some funding to move forward their project. And our project was to develop a toolkit to help navigate the crazy maze. And Allison's now going to talk in more detail about what actually we're going to be doing in the future.
Yeah, so, when the Pente Challenge, we had a limited amount of time to come up with one tangible pitch for, hey, help support us as we contribute something to the community, because we know there are so many groups in this space that are doing amazing work. And where can we be the value add? And so one of the things that we identified, the folks in the room, is that, we all come from institutions that need support. There's no written out plan of easy way of this is how you do it, right? And so our ambitious goal is to start with creating a toolkit for higher ed. And that could be that higher ed was selected because of the people in the room and the human resources that we had to work with. But the idea is that it could be easily expanded into K-12 and connecting with employers that if you are working in a higher ed institution in a specific role, you can come in and say, you know what, I want to look at the registrar track. And we'll have resources that are collected to help guide you through the pathway, through this maze of emerging credentials. If you're a learner, what do I do with these? My institution started issuing, what do I do now? And so what we're really looking at with our project phases is our first step is happening today. We can cross this one off the list, is to host a mini summit. Thank you so much, Stephanie and team, for all the organization with this, to see if we can garner support and other wonderful brains in this space to contribute to the toolkit. And then we're really going to dig into creating this thing. And so we'll swoop back around to this at the end of the day, but something to think about is, come and join us, and I'll put a link in the chat. But, the idea with these conferences is, we come together for a day, but let's keep the conversation going. That's how we escape from the unconference and have continued into this work today. And if you're in the room and you participate in the group, toss up an emoji, because I see a lot of familiar faces and names in the square here.